Oh yeah!
Hello my gaming family and welcome to another video. As you probably know by now and you have noticed by my accent, I am from Eastern Europe and I wanted for a long time to make a video about some really cool European games or games that comes from European developers. There is a tons of really good games, for most of them you probably know, but there is a couple of them that even I encountered for the first time recently. Now is the perfect time to mention some of them and to talk about some really good European games that you can play during holidays. But as always, before we start talking about them, make sure you smash that subscribe button and support growth of this channel and my work in general on the best possible way. So this, let's say list, we will start with one of my favorite games of all times. Since the Chronicles of Myrtana, the big community-made mod for Gothic 2 that was released few days ago was accepted really good and the reviews for it were overwhelmingly positive, the Gothic series, besides being my favorite RPG series ever, deserve to be the first on this list. Gothic is a series of role-playing games developed by Piranha Bytes. The Piranha Bytes is a small German developer founded in 1997. Piranha Bytes is not a big studio, it have around 30 people, but they are really talented and passionate, and if you are familiar with their work, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All Gothic games are really amazing. Back in the days when I was a teenager and a young gamer, they were really popular, especially in this part of Europe, but in this video I will not talk about first two installments. Although they are really good, maybe even better than the third one. Gothic 3 was the game I enjoyed the most, and a game that remained deeply engraved in my mind and heart. When it comes to the story, the third installment again follows the nameless hero, but this time, after he lands on the shores of Myrtana, he encountered a group of orcs terrorizing the village. Eventually, he will be able to decide whether he will support the rebels and help them in their fight against the orcs, be orc mercenary and try to quell the rebellion, or to ignore them and follow his own path. Also, the well-known mage Zardas from previous installments takes role in this game too, and beside him you will be able to meet other characters from previous games like Diego, Milton, Gord, Lester and others. Considering this is a 15 years old game, you can't expect some spectacular graphics, but even it's an old engine and graphics, the game looks pretty nice, and if you're a fan of older games, you will like this one definitely. The atmosphere in the game is absolutely amazing. Nature, sounds, music, I personally found a really enjoyable and satisfying spending time in the world of Gothic. Like almost every Piranha Bytes game, you could definitely feel that Eurojank signature in this one too. You will feel the lags on almost every step. Combat is clunky, although the magic on the other hand is absolutely amazing. Also, you need to know that without few crucial patches and fixes, the game is almost unplayable, but with those patches, you will have the chance to enjoy this European masterpiece. The next game on this list doesn't need introduction, cause I'm more than sure that every single one of you out there heard about this game. Yup, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is maybe one of the best games ever. Prove me wrong. Anyway, Witcher 3 is an RPG from 2015 developed by CD Projekt Red. A lot of you will probably say, and I agree, that The Witcher 3 is not an RPG, but action-adventure game with RPG elements, but in this case that really doesn't matter. The game was originally scheduled for release in late 2014, then pushed back to February 24, 2015, and finally released on May 19, 2015. During the first 2 weeks since release, it has sold more than 4 million copies worldwide, more than doubling the total sales of its predecessor, The Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings. Unlike the previous games, The Witcher 3 is set in a multi-region open world, featuring over 100 hours of content. There has been some talking that the developers plan to have an open world similar to that of Skyrim, but 20% larger. The developers were quick to point out that while there was much to appreciate in Bethesda's open world concept, they were also making an effort not to repeat what they perceived as the flaws in game. As with earlier games, the consequences of Geralt's actions will impact how the narrative progresses. The game has been built using the Red Engine 3 and was designed with players' feedback from fans of previous Witcher games in mind. When it comes to the story, the name of the game says everything. The well-known Wild Hunt strikes again. These ghastly spectral riders have for ages plagued humankind, bringing misery to the world, but this time is different. This time the Wild Hunt seeks one person in particular, the one individual destiny itself bestowed upon Geralt, the one soul Geralt considers kin, Ciri. Beside Wild Hunt, the world is in chaos. The air is thick with tension and the smoke of burnt villages. The fearsome empire of Nilfgaard has struck again, ravaging the helpless northern kingdoms and bringing destruction wherever they show. Beside main story, there is also Witcher contracts, monster hunting and even Gwent, an implemented card game, and before it became standalone game, I know people who spent hundreds of hours in game just playing Gwent and collecting cards. If you focus only on main quest, you will be able to finish the game in approximately 50 hours, but if you are a hardcore gamer and want to see and experience everything beside Gwent, you will have more than 1500 hours of time spent in the game. Beside that, there are two DLCs for this game, one is Blood and Wine and the other is Heart of Stone, with stories maybe even better than the original game. When it comes to gameplay, graphics, animations, all I can say is brilliant. Witcher 3, in my opinion, is most complete game ever. Beautiful graphics, landscapes, music, quests and side quests, storyline, combat and combat animations, everything is so goddamn good. This is definitely one of those games you can replay over and over again and to never get bored, so if you didn't play this game, my advice is to go get it and play it right now, and if you did, the same goes for you. Third and last game on today's list is another game from Piranha Bytes Studio and a game I have been covering for quite some time on my channel. Helix is an open-world action RPG set in post-apocalyptic world of Megalan. The team that stands behind this title is, as I mentioned, Piranha Bytes, and the publisher is well-known THQ Nordic. The game was released in October 2017, and on March 1st next year, the sequel to this game will see the light of day. When it comes to story, after the meteor hit Megalan, it didn't brought only mass destruction for civilization, it also brought a mysterious and extremely powerful resource called Helix. The few survivors organized themselves in factions, each with a different vision of the future and distinct ways of using Helix. The Berserkers reject technology and purify the Helix by transforming it into a mana in order to obtain magical but natural powers. They do this by growing world hearts, large plants that they believe heal the ground and thus the planet. The Outlaws only want profit and freedom. They use any modern weapons and technology they can find, being masters of putting to use any old scrap. They use Helix to create powerful drugs. The clerics believe in a god called Kellan. They are the most knowledgeable and technologically advanced faction and believe that their religion can save the world. These factions, the Free People, fight each other over resources, land and Helix, but they all share a common enemy, the Elves. The Elves are ex-clerics who decided they should use Helix by consuming it directly into their bodies, making them very strong at the cost of their emotions and skin pigmentation. They use the most advanced technology of Megalan and work blindly under the command of the Hybrid, an ancient being that wants to gather all the Helix of the planet to achieve a new state of evolution for the Elves. Our protagonist Jax is an elf commander who, after his aircraft got shot by an unknown enemy and after being unconscious for a few days and almost all the Helix left his body, starts struggling with emotions. He is alone now and needs help, so in order to regain his power, he needs to join some faction. He learns about how the Free People live, while at the same time tries to understand what happened on the day of the crash and who attacked him. The game is really amazing on its own way. You could definitely feel that Eurojank vibe in some segments, especially in combat, but when you take everything into account, all in all, the game is really good. Helix have that really interesting setting. You can go all the way with sword and shield, or with guns and laser rifles, or even use magic, everything in one game. Plus to that, there is that jetpack feature, which will make your playthrough much more interesting by allowing you to fly short distances, jump higher, and it will improve your exploration a lot. If you find this game interesting and you want to know more about it before you decide to play it, make sure you check my other Helix videos, maybe you find them helpful. Also, with Helix 2 on our doorstep, now is the perfect time to play the first game if you didn't, or to replay it one more time if you did. Graphically, this game looks really decent considering it's a game from a relatively small studio. Like with their other titles, Piranha Byte did an amazing job in this one too. The world looks beautiful, you can easily find yourself ignoring all the quests and storyline and just wandering around and exploring, and if you are familiar with Piranha Byte's work, then you know they highly reward exploring. I don't say that Helix is a perfect game, far from that. It have lags, you could easily find it really difficult until you learn the mechanics, and it may look unpolished to you, but once you get used to everything, you will definitely enjoy. These 3 games, in my opinion, are really amazing, and if you have free time during holidays and you want to relax a little while you play some game, these 3 are ideal. This video is definitely the last video in this year, and I hope it will help you so you can spend some quality time during holidays. This was tough year for everyone. I want to thank you for all the support so far, and I hope this channel and our gaming family will grow much faster next year. Don't forget to like so this video can reach more people, and also make sure you smash that subscribe button, guys. I want to wish you happy holidays and happy new year, and as always, until next time, see ya and stay cool.